Hello, my name is Elena Torres, and I'm here interviewing Kevin Rodriguez. So, Kevin, when and where were you born?
I was born in Honduras, 1993.
And what made you come to the US?
I really wanted um, have a better education and have the opportunity to learn English. And Honduras has very high crime, and I didn't, want to grow up around all that.
So, how old were you when you came to the US?
I was 7 years old.
And how did you get here?
Um, so first of all, my mother was already here in the U.S. Um, she left when I was 4. Um, she she told me she was gonna leave for a while. I didn't know exactly what that meant because I was so young. I was sad. I cried, and my mother, she was so heartbroken because she was just scared not being able to see me ever again or being able to come back home since she was coming to the U.S. illegally and having to come through Mexico and anything could have happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a very hard decision from her part to leave me and not knowing what was gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something that she really wanted to do because she wanted to have you know a better, pretty much a better opportunity for herself and I
Mm-hmm.
in the future. So she came to the U.S. It was very hard for her to get around, and she didn't know English. She couldn't communicate, looking for a job. It was very hard. And before she left, um, my uncle, my aunt took legal guardianship over me.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like my parents. And when my mother, was struggling and trying to get a job, she met somebody and became boyfriend and girlfriend. They eventually got married. That person was a citizen, and she eventually became a citizen also.
Okay. So, after she gained her citizenship, um, is that when she decided to have you join her?
Yes, she she told my um, guardian parents to apply for visa,
Mm-hmm.
and we're like, okay. My guardian parents, had pretty good jobs, and over there in Honduras, went to a U.S. embassy, and when you apply for visa, the requirements is to have a good job, good income, own a house, have assets. So that was a good thing that my guardian parents, had taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
They had good jobs and all that. So thank God we were you know accepted,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave us visa, and we bought our plane tickets, and we came to the U.S. to visit my mother.
So it was only a visitation.
Yes.
So how did y'all end up staying?
Um, my guardian parents and my mother, they talked about it, and they talked to me about it, and pretty much it was about what's better for me. Um, it was better for me to stay here and go to school, um, have an opportunity to like learn English and have a better education. In Honduras, the economy was pretty bad,
Mm-hmm.
and it still is. Um, there's a lot of crime, so my parents didn't want me to grow up, around all that.
Mm-hmm. So when y'all came to the U.S., y'all lived together in the same house.
Yes, it was my guardian parents, my mother, her husband, and I in the same house. Um, I didn't see my mother as as my mother Like I
Mhm.
knew she was my mother, but I just didn't have the same connection as I did with my guardian parents since she left when I was so young and she wasn't there for a long time.
So that time period that she was gone was like a really crucial time. That that connection just kind of got lost.
Yes, I knew she was my mother, and I knew that she loved me. She was always in contact. We always talked on the phone, but she wasn't there
Right.
like my guardian parents were. So my parent love was for my guardian parents, and I just knew she was my mother, but I didn't see her as my mother.
So how did your citizenship and your parents' citizenship come into play?
So since my mother was already a citizen and I was underage, so she pretty much did all the paperwork to um, to get my citizenship since I was her son.
Mhm.
Um, and it was a very smooth process since I'm her son, and I had to be with her.
Mhm.
So after a few months, I was pretty much my resident and then became a citizen.
And what about your aunt and uncle?
My aunt and uncle, since my aunt was my mom's sister, that took a little bit longer. It was a longer process since it was sibling.
Mhm.
Um, and eventually, they became a resident because my uncle was married to my aunt, and she was approved. So we were all pretty much just okay. We're good to stay here.
Okay. So was there a big difference that you noticed moving from Honduras to the U.S.?
Yes, it was a very big difference. Over there in Honduras, the the crimes, it's like daily thing. Um, from what I remember, we couldn't just go to the store and take jewelry or have any like fancy things or um, a car that looks too nice. People will always try to like pretty much steal it or
Mhm.
um, even get kidnapped because they think you have money and try to get money from you or your family. Um, so it was pretty bad, living over there.
Mhm.
And over here, like we were able to, go out and not be worried that somebody's gonna come and take your stuff or kidnap you.
Right.
And so we felt safer. And it was a better feeling when I was feeling more comfortable.
That's good. So your transition into the U.S., was it easy?
No, it was not easy. I knew it was the best thing, and I I worked really hard to kind of fit in. It was tough, and I can just imagine how tough it was for my mother when she
Mhm.
was here by herself, because it was tough for me when I was here and I had my family.
Mhm.
I wasn't able to communicate. Even at school, I had a hard time to understand classmates, my teachers. Um, I wasn't able to read, because
Mhm.
everything was in English,
Mhm.
and it was hard, So that pushed me like even more to like, okay, I have to learn English, and so in about 2 years, I started like getting used to it and learning English and communicating, and everything, just got little by little
Mhm.
got easier.
That's good. So where are you now?
Um, so my mother, she learned English, went to college, she became a nurse. So right now she's a nurse, and I went to college and graduated San Jacinto, and now I'm in aviation school to be an aircraft inspector, and that's definitely something that I don't think I was you know gonna be able to accomplish if I was in Honduras.
Hmm. So the opportunities you see here in the U.S. are definitely greater than what you saw in Honduras.
Yes, it's a big difference, and I thank God and my parents for for seeing that, for seeing looking ahead.
Hmm.
You know, they wanted something better for me, something better for them, and they looked ahead and they worked pretty hard, to get pretty much what we needed, um, everything I needed, and I feel very proud, to be first generation in my family to go to college and be here, and it's just I feel very happy.
Good. Well, thank you for your time. It's a very interesting story. Your mom must be really proud of who you've become and all the trials and tribulations that she went through. Must have been rough.
Yes, and I'm very proud of her too. I always tell her, you know, hey, like thank you for all that all the effort.
Mhm.
I know it wasn't easy, like leaving your son for so long and not being able, to see your family, and it was tough, but that's something that turned out,
For the best.
for the best for me and my family, and it was definitely worth it.
Good. Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem.